in a generation where people feel pressured to always be in a relationship because of social media, culture, and even some church environments can make people feel like relationship status define their true identity. But Paul corrects this by teaching believers to find contentment in Christ, not identity in relationship status. Singleness and marriages are both gifts in different ways, and each season has a purpose. Paul is teaching believers not to let loneliness push them into compromise that can cost them spiritually, because this can lead to sacrificing your peace, sacrificing your discernment, and sacrificing your purity, and trading intimacy with God for a seat on a table that was never yours. Some unhealthy relationships lead believers further from God instead of closer to the marriage they hoped for. Paul is encouraging believers that singleness is not a failure, and it does not mean someone is forgotten by God. In fact, Paul reveals something powerful in 1 Corinthians 7 verse 7. I shall read. But each one has his own gift from God, and one in the manner and another in that. Praise be to God. Each one. Paul is correcting the confusion in the Corinthian church about relationships, marriages, singleness, and holiness. Singleness on its own is a gift from some. Marriage is also a gift from some. That is what Paul is saying here. A believer should not compare the season with someone else. God can work through both singleness and marriage. Apostle Paul shows that singleness can still create a space for the gift of healing, as gift of miracles, spiritual growth, devotion, focus, and deep intimacy with God. But Paul also understands human weakness and temptation. So he advises that if someone cannot remain content to exercise self-control, then marriage is honorable, so they do not burn with passion and fall into sexual immorality. He is teaching believers that whether single or a marriage, the goal is still the holiness, wisdom, and purity, and devotion to God. Because fulfillment does not begin with the relationship. Fulfillment begins with surrender, and surrender to God.